Good evening, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at a common type of verbal reasoning called similar meanings. Okay, and this one can be a bit tricky, but honestly, like I say with every lesson that we do, as long as you really focus and give it a good go, it will become easier as the lesson goes on. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at the first one together, and then we're going to try and do it all by ourselves. Okay, let's read the instructions. The instructions say the two words in the first set of brackets have similar meanings. The two words in the second set of brackets also have similar meanings. Choose the word from the 5 options that has a similar meaning to the words in both sets of brackets. All right, so it's a bit tricky. If we read the instructions alone, it sounds a bit wordy and a bit confusing, but I'm going to simplify it for you, okay? So what it's saying is that in the first set of brackets, so this set right here, we have 2 words that have similar meanings, all right? So we've got charge and dash. Let me go to someone in the group. Emma, why is it that charge and dash are similar? How are they similar in meaning? What do you reckon, Emma? Why are they similar in meaning, charge and dash?
Um, Similar. I think that they have similar meanings because when when you're like for example charging your body, like you like have enough energy to like dash around our house, for example.
What about like an animal? If we
I
said
don't really know.
sorry, Emma, if an animal was charging or an animal was dashing, how is that similar?
Oh, so if the animal is charging, it's basically like the animal is running, except it's like going going like
Hmm.
at someone. And dashing, it's also basically running, except it's like really, really fast.
Good. And that is one of the tricky things about this question because the word charge can have many meanings, can't it? Right? Think about the word charge. You might charge your phone, you might charge someone some money, or you might or charge, like Emma's just said. It could be if you think about like an animal sort of lunging forwards, right? So we need to decide which charge we're talking about, and we can use the word dash to help us because dash means a similar thing. So if we think about charged as if to mean like an animal lunging forwards, well, charge and dash have that similar meaning, don't they? Okay. Now listen very carefully because might get a bit tricky here. The words quick and hasty, they don't mean the same thing as charge and dash, do they? They mean something different. So let's go to someone else. Let's go to Kiva. Kiva, what does quick and what does hasty mean? Like, how are they similar in meaning?
Uh, mm, mm,
What do you reckon, Kiva? How are they similar in meaning, quick and hasty?
mm, not too sure.
No problem. Thanks for having a go, Kiva. They are a bit. Hasty is a bit of a tricky word, isn't it? Do not worry. Okay, we're going to sort this out. What about you, Skylar? Do you know what quick and hasty means? How are they similar?
So quick means to like do something fast, and then hasty means it's something similar when something is kind of like done quickly.
Perfect. So hasty means something that's done with urgency, something that's done quickly. So really, quick and hasty both mean well, quick. It is the. I know we talk about the word quick, but that's what it means. That's what hasty means, right? So we can think of the word quick to kind of define both of them. Quick means to be quick, means to have speed, and hasty means the same thing. So I'm going to put down here quick and speed, to remind us of what these words mean. Now, this is where the question becomes tricky because quick and hasty mean a certain thing. It means with lots of speed. And charge and dash mean a different thing. It means to sort of lunge forwards, okay? So they don't mean the same thing, yet we're being asked to find a word that means the same as both sets of brackets, even though both sets of brackets don't have the same meaning. Okay, so that means there must be a word here that has a similar meaning to both sets of brackets. That must mean that the word we're looking for has at least two definitions, at least two meanings, right? So let me know in the chat box which one of these options, one, two, so you can write option 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or you can just write the word. Which one of these options shares a meaning with both words, or sorry, both sets of brackets? Let me know in the chat box, guys, and then we'll talk about it in about 30 seconds. Perfect. Annabelle? Perfect. Scarlett? There's only one answer, guys. There's only one answer. Perfect. Era? Perfect. Gersima? Perfect. Hannah? Perfect. Felicia? A couple of you are given two words. The answer must only be one of those options. Yeah, just one. There's only one answer. So it's either exam, speedy, rush, ball, or run. All right. Shall we go to Umut? Umut, do you have an answer, or do you want me to go to somebody else?
Can you come back to me later, please?
Of course, I'll come back to you for another question. Let's go to Annabelle. Annabelle, what do you reckon?
I think the answer is 3 because exam, it has nothing to do with rushing. Speedy we'll come back to it. A bull is just an animal that goes fast, not a word that comes fast. Run also is quick. So now we have speedy, rush, and run. Run is just like you're running, but rush means you're doing it really quickly. And speedy, it also means the same as run, but rush is more like quicker.
Okay, so you think the answer is rush. All right, thank you, Annabelle. Right, so the answer is rush. Let me explain why, guys, right? So a few of you said speedy. I'll explain why it isn't speedy quickly before I explain why the answer is rush, right? The reason it's not speedy is because we could say that speedy means the same as these two, because being quick and being hasty means to do something with speed. So speedy definitely fits with those two. Brilliant. But it doesn't fit with these two. Speedy does not mean the same thing as to charge or to dash, does it? It does not mean the same thing, okay? Now, you might say, yeah, but maybe the animal charges with speed and they dash with speed. Yeah, maybe they do, but they still don't mean the same thing, okay? Whereas the word rush means to act quickly. Like if you were rushing your schoolwork, it means to do it very quickly. So it definitely works for the second set of brackets. But also, rush means to lunge forwards. If we said an animal rushed towards us, it has a very similar meaning to charge and dash. So the word rush has the same definition as these two words and as these two words, albeit with different contexts, okay? So that's the important thing here. We need to think about words with different contexts and different situations, okay? We need to appreciate that the words that we pick have more than one meaning, have more than one definition. Make sense? Remember what I said at the start, guys. It's a bit tricky, this one, but it will get easier. Let's take a look at the next one, okay? So we've got blow, exhale, unlock, and unfasten. And the options are secure, release, breathe, draw, and body. Give that one a go, guys, and I'll talk to you again in about 1 minute. Very good, Emma. Very quick. Again, you can put options 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or you can just put the word, whichever you prefer. Perfect, Ragnar. Perfect, Arianoki. Perfect, Scarlet. Perfect, Gersima. Perfect, Emma. I love this. I think we've got the hang of it already. Very good. Perfect, Felicia. Perfect, Era. Guys, you're amazing. Fantastic. Perfect, Annabelle. Perfect, Hamank. Perfect, perfect, Jordan. Perfect, Hannah. Perfect, Lucas. Perfect, Kiva. Guys, that's brilliant. That's really good. Fantastic. Let's go to Emma. Emma, you've got the answer correct. How did you know?
Oh, I put release because when you blow and you exhale, it's like, so you blow out, you release the air.
Good.
When you unlock something, you like release it technically.
What about unfasten?
Unfastens, like let's say you're in a car and it's the seatbelt. When you click the seatbelt in, it stays in there, so it's locked to keep you safe. But when you press the button, it unfastens, so it releases the lock.
Good. Very well explained. That's a really good explanation. Fantastic. Brilliant. Well done, guys. So, as Umut said, when we blow and we exhale, we are releasing. Okay, we are releasing. We don't, you know, when we sort of exhale or breathe out, we tend not to say, oh, I'm just releasing some air, but that's still what we're doing. So it's still a definition that we could use. So release, blow, and exhale do share that definition. And like Umut said, when we unlock or unfasten, we're talking about releasing a lock. Do you know what? Something that really helps me with these sorts of questions is to you can't do this in the exam, but what I do aloud is I kind of define the words aloud. I say what they mean aloud. And then what happens is I end up using words like release. And then when I see that it's one of the options, I know that it's probably going to be correct. Okay. Now, in the exam, obviously you can't speak out loud, but you can do that in your head, can't you? You can give the words their own definitions and see if you can sort of think of any words that are used to explain both of them. One more thing, guys. You'll notice that blow and exhale and unlock and unfasten do not share a meaning. But the word release shares a meaning with both of them. That's why this question type is quite tricky, because there doesn't seem to be much in common with the bracket words, but the word release definitely has something in common with the words in the brackets. Okay, very good, guys. Let's take a look at the next one. So we've got manage, control, sprint, jog, and our options are walk, pace, run, marathon, and business. What do you reckon? So once again, you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or you can just write the word. Perfect, Scarlet. Perfect, Ragnar. Perfect, Jordan. Perfect, Annabelle. Perfect, Chrissy. You've got to be really careful with these questions, guys. Quite a few of us are saying pace, and I personally can't see the relationship between pace and manage and control. I can see that pace kind of links to sprint and jog, but I can't see any link between manage, control, and pace. So remember, the answer must share some meaning with both sets of brackets, not just one set of brackets. That's it, Lucas. Very good. Well done, Sahib. Okay, 10 seconds. Well done, Kiva. All right, Kiva, would you like to explain this one? Because you are correct. It would be great to hear from you. How did you get the answer run?
Mm, how I got that answer because I got run because like you can
You're doing very well, Kiva.
because you can like run a business sometimes.
Okay, you can run a business. How does that link with manage and control? Can you manage and control a business?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, like if let's use Kiva's example. If we've got like someone who runs their own business, we might also say that they manage their own business or they control their own business. So in this context, run means the same thing, right? So Kiva, how does run, this is a bit easier, this one, how does run link with sprint and jog?
Because when you like because
You've got this,
because
Kiva. Think about it. What's a bit...
maybe when you're sprinting and it's like sprinting is like running
Mm-hmm.
and like um when you jog it it's like the same as running as well.
Yeah,
But
very good. Perfect. So like Kiva said, sprint and jog are like types of run, aren't they? Types of running. If we sprint, we're running. If we jog, we're running. Sprint is like a fast run and jog is a slow run. But they can both be linked with the word run. They are both types of run, okay? So they are synonymous with the word run. And over here, like we've already discussed, manage and control. In this context, the word run is just like those words, to manage, to control a business, for example, like Kiva said, right? So the answer is run. So one of the tricky things about this question type is making sure that we're not too tempted by an answer that we see immediately, and to make sure we really think about its definitions. For example, a few of you put pace, and I understand why you might put pace, because sprint and jog certainly link at least slightly to the word pace, but with manager control, there's very little that links manager control to the word pace. So when we get our answer, when we choose the option, we've got to make sure that when we think about its meanings, its definitions, like run, it has more than one meaning. And in this case, it does, doesn't it? All right, let's look at the next one. So our next question is bang, bash, blockbuster, sensation, and our options are drum, success, hit, crash, and slap. And this is a bit of a trickier one, so really think hard about this one. Very good, Scarlett. Very good, Gersima. Very good, Era. Very good, Lucas. Very good, Himan. Well done, George. Well done, Felicia. Well done, Sahib. Well done, Ariane Oki. Okay, 20 seconds for those that haven't answered. Okay, 5 seconds. All right, let's go to Gersima. All right, Gersima, you have got it correct. Perfect. Gersima, what did you say and how do you know it's correct?
So I think that hit is the correct answer, and I know that because
a blockbuster is like something that's popular, and a hit means something that's popular too. And then when you bang and bash something is the same as when you hit something.
What about the word sensation?
Sensation.
What might that mean? You've done a great job already.
I didn't even think about that word. I only thought about blockbuster and the other two.
Yeah, and you know what? That's actually a very good exam technique, what Gerson has just said there, because even when we're not too sure of a word and its meaning, the fact that we can associate the word hit with bang and bash, and we can associate it with blockbuster, if we don't quite know what the word sensation means, or if we can't quite articulate it, because it links to the word blockbuster and because it links to the word bang and bash, we've already got a very good idea of what the word hit means. Okay, before I go through this one, does anyone think they might know what sensation means and how it links to this question? Let's go to Hayden. Hayden, do you know? Hayden, I don't know if you're talking. I can see that you've unmuted yourself, but I can't hear you. Is there like a switch in your microphone? Okay, I'm gonna have to go to someone else. Sorry, Hayden, I can't hear you. But do message me if you manage to fix that. What about you, Ragnar? Do you know what sensation means in that context?
I think it means like it's very popular.
Yeah, perfect. Can you think of something like right now in 2026? What would be like a big sensation, like a sensation for kids, for example, in this day and age?
Um, 6, 7.
6, 7. What about a TV show?
Uh, I don't really know.
No, no, no problem. All right, let's talk about it. So, like Gersima said, and like Ragnar said, blockbuster and sensation kind of refer to like events that are big and popular, like massive hits. There's that word, hit. Okay, massive hits. So like it might be something like Pokemon. Pokemon the movie might create a big sensation, which means like widespread excitement. Just like blockbuster, like Gersima said, means like a really, really popular movie. And bang and bash, well, we know what those mean. And I think probably all of you, if not most of you, probably have the idea of a drum in your head when we think about those words. When we hit a drum, okay, or we bang a drum, or we bash a drum. So it's clear that hit shares a meaning with those two words and shares a meaning with those two words, okay? And again, it's quite tricky. The reason, I know I've said this a few times, but the reason this creates some issues with students is because bang and bash and blockbuster and sensation don't relate at all. But hit is kind of like this bridge that connects the words, and that's the whole point of this type of verbal reasoning. Okay. All right. So we have come to the end of this type of verbal reasoning. But could you